Happy Thursday. Wanted to do something a little bit different today, something a little bit more specific, and also keeping it like open as well. But before I get started immediately, of course I'll wait till I actually have an audience, until I'm actually talking to somebody. But hello to some people coming in, good to see you. I'm actually gonna do a reading on this whole Diddy situation, just in general, because I'm a little concerned. This is not here to like spill tea or talk shit. It's more so of actually looking into some things just from my perspective and my angle. And I'm also going to offer readings to you guys as well. You guys know, or maybe you don't know, but welcome to my channel, Lucid Living TV. My name is Sky. Everybody, or most people know me as Taryn. But you can call me Sky. I go by Sky now. And yeah, I'm gonna go into reading mode today. So if you would like a reading today, you can simply donate $20 or more with your birth date. And once you send that information along, I do spend some time on giving you a reading live here on the live video. And it's been working very well so far when I do these things live. So all that I ask again is just any contribution, whether you want a reading or not. That's up to you. Hi everyone. Also, can someone do me a favor? Can someone just write out my Cash App $tarenguy, and I'll pin it, because I can't do it for some reason on the phone. I usually do it from my computer, but I don't have it with me. So hello, hi Greenie. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you, Golden Heart, I appreciate it. And I see more people coming in, so I'm not gonna really get started until I see, like, you know, a good amount here set in the beginning, so that I can get into it. So let me just energetically just get into just the mode. But again, if somebody can write out Cash App $tarenguy for me, and I'll just pin that to the chat, that would be helpful to me. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you. You guys put $tarenguy. Got it. I appreciate that. I saw a New Day visual, so I just pinned your comment there. Oh, and Angela Allen, thank you as well for putting that out there for me. Thank you. All right, so it's pinned. So again, if anybody wants to be up for readings, my Venmo, PayPal is in the description, and my Cash App is pinned there. So all you have to do again is $20 or more plus your birth date, and I'll start giving you a reading. But we're gonna get into Diddy, just in general, because I keep saying to myself, I grew up in his era, in the era of bad boy, the bad boy era. You know, I was like in junior high school, when the bad boy era really like boomed, you know. And you know, the culture is different in the 90s, in any form, like way different from now. And all I want to say is, I've been telling you guys lately on a macro level that there is an attack on beauty, on the feminine energy, on the creative energy, which is very feminine. And there's an attack on that, like it's a war, like a missile attack, like a nuke hit in the astral plane. Let's just say that. Let's just say like a nuke hit. You know, we have the fourth dimensional space that actually trickles into the third dimensional space in a different way, but it's a parallel world, and it might not be exactly the same, but it sends everything into the dimension. So it feels like a nuclear fucking bomb was just dropped on what you would call Earth. Or like the space of Earth that is forming, like almost like an undeveloped version of Earth, almost like a fetus of the new so-called new Earth, the new realm, the new dimension. So that's forming and developing, and in order for a newer space, in any space, to form beautifully and healthy, just like a fetus, it has to be nurtured, it has to have the space to grow. So, you know, it's like a womb that has a uterus that is able to stretch out as far as it possibly can to hold a life that is in development, not only physically, but mentally and psychologically and consciously or subconsciously. As the fetus is developing, there's an inner growth, an outer growth, literally and figuratively. So that's how I look into the space of the new world. So the new world is still in fetus space. It's like a fetus still. So it's almost as if mother, like the true mother that carries with no problem, is like her womb was turned into stone, or like casted to stay a certain like size, so that the fetus is growing, but it's growing in a space that is walled up, jailed up, or stoned on the outside. And when the fetus gets closer and closer to needing more space, and the womb can't expand, that's a problem. Okay, so that's what the effects of a nuke can do. Turns people into stone in many ways, especially life givers, and it stunts the growth of what is supposed to be developed. And what is developed is aborted or taken out. These are the terms in which I am trying to give a comparison factor to on how I feel about just in general. So it feels like it's taken out after it's casted and molded into the space, and they do things with it. They do things with the undeveloped version of what is supposed to be life for cycles later, like these different types of life, different types of dimensions, basically in fetal form. And they do an experiment on these things. So that's how I kind of feel like there's a lot of suffocation, feeling like it's hard to move anywhere in life because of that. So what does this have to do with Diddy? I'm not here to judge him. I'm not a part of any of that. I'm not here to even like be on the side. I'm just here because I'm concerned about what I see with my angle is a destruction or destroying of a legacy, more so than a man. So when there's a legacy, there's children involved, there's other people involved, but there's a consistent dragging that is unfair. Because back in the day when there were actual allegations and crimes and allegations to crimes and trials going on, we didn't have like the big trials of the centuries, like O.J. Simpson and shit like that. O.J. Simpson trial. We didn't have social media to drag O.J. Simpson while O.J. is already being dragged in court. Rest in peace, O.J., by the way. So like, this was a public trial, but you only talked about it amongst yourselves, but there was no social platform that enhanced the dragging. So this is a sensitive time, and it really, we gotta remember that people are still fucking human. People have children, people have feelings, people have like layers of emotions based upon what's being said and what's being perpetuated. about them. Now, all I want to say is I remember like last year sometimes when I found out that Diddy was coming out with a new he came out with a new record label called Love, and I had came out with an album. I remember submitting my album or questioning or sending like an email of some sort to Diddy in a sense of wanting to be a part of possibly be a part of his record label called Love. I was like, he's looking for new artists. It's a new record label. I like the Love name. I love that. All right. So why not be a part of it? Then that's when he came out with his last couple of songs with his album, but his singles that were out were with The Weeknd. I spoke about The Weeknd like last video, I think. But he came out with 2 songs with The Weeknd, and then all of a sudden, crash, boom. He has all of these charges, Cassie, blah, blah, blah. And now what he was trying to develop and where he was going was like on an upward spiral in the music zone. It was looking very good, and the motherfucker just kind of like got shut down. So all I'm gonna say is like, we gotta understand, and I'm speaking from a metaphysical point of view, and any jokes about Diddy in my comment section, I'm not even gonna look at these jokes or these sly comments, because I'm talking about a person. I'm not talking about a sim character or an avatar in a video game. So like, that's what we gotta remember. I'm talking about a person. His name is Sean Combs. So all I'm saying is like, I want to add a different perspective within this ether to this storyline that we are all being blasted with every single minute. If you really into like the news and all of that shit with the TMZs and all of that, love in general is the target from the enemy. There is an enemy that hates love. There's an enemy that hates love, literally. So when you metaphysically even come out with a label named Love, Diddy, you have placed yourself in a very vulnerable space if love is on the attack list. That's how deep it goes on words, technology, matching up phonetics, words, and purpose, gathering up data information, whirling that shit up, and having the Centennial and the Matrix pick that shit up and send it off to the enemy state lines, and just fucks you up because of it. Now, I don't speak too much, but I mean, in a sense of Masonic order, we all know there's a Masonic order to follow. When you are giving orders from the female side or the male side, orders, you must play the orders out. So I'm not calling anybody a liar for starting this storyline or this narrative, but trust and believe when a narrative is given, Masonically given, on a high level, highest of the high level, sometimes it's called forcing. You gotta force it and make it happen, because thank you, Andrew, for your Cash App donation. I see you. Thank you. You gotta make it happen regardless. So it's just, that's all I'm gonna say right now with that. For those of you just coming in, you might want to watch the beginning part of this video, as I spoke more so on the metaphysical side of just Diddy in general, in a general way. Now, I'm not going into the allegations. What I'm going to say before I do get into like just a quick reading on Diddy is there's a different, let's talk about certain details. In my opinion, Diddy parties. He was the king of the parties in hip hop world, music world, and everything. When you see pictures and videos of these parties, it literally looks like celebs amongst their friends and family having a great fucking time. Now, there's no difference between any after party and any other after party and any other after party. In real after parties, people are adults, especially in private places. You drink, there's drugs there available sometimes or sometimes not. You have the choice on whether you want to indulge or not. If you hook up with somebody and start kissing a motherfucker or like whatever, that happens. It's called a party. And sometimes they're just there to dance and have a great time. Now, what you call a freak off or whatever, this shit don't even sound right. This shit sounds so corny. Like, so corny. Or so-called sex parties, orgy party. It's just like, dude, like, grow up. A party is a party is a party is a party. Now, if there are people, I'm not saying that there are not people that have claimed to be placed in situations where they felt uncomfortable. But we have to be reminded that these people are adults. And there are certain situations as an adult where you have every right to at least learn how to develop a voice in your discomfort in some kind of way and say, stop, leave me alone, no, I'm not into that, and move the fuck on. Go to the next space, leave. We have to start holding these adults accountable for what they're claiming. Even Christian Combs is being accused now or sued from a woman that claims that he forced her to have shots of tequila that she took. After taking these shots, she felt weird and funny, like it was laced. And then he led her to a room that she felt uncomfortable about in going towards, which she still went towards, and he somehow cornered her and made her feel uncomfortable and maybe touched her inappropriately. She is now traumatized from this, almost calling herself suicidal over it. I said, first of all, I've met Christian before briefly in a club here in LA. Christian ain't that. Listen, I have a right to have my opinions on this matter, especially when it comes to adults. Christian ain't pressing nobody to fucking force them to have nothing, to try to sleep with them or to lace them and trick them into anything. Christian doesn't have to do that. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's not even about that. When you understand that this shit don't make sense to me on most of these allegations. Now, there are some isolated events that are being dealt with, like his relationship with Cassie and so on. I'm not in that. I'm staying out of people's relationship stuff. And maybe there are things that are backfiring on how he's treated his girlfriend at the time in the relationship. That's different. I'm gonna stay out of that. But all of these other public allegations and then sex trafficking and kids, I don't know. I think it's getting a little out of hand. And punishment for backfire from the past, it has to be justified and fair. You can't overdo it because you can kill a spirit, which kills a legacy, which creates a spiraling effect that is hard to stop once that train goes faster. We're in a slow moving part, but we're about to start moving fast. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Let me look in the comments. And again, any contributions, my Cash App is posted, and my links are posted at the bottom in the description. But I'm gonna go ahead and use my playing cards and just pull things out, just in general. So first thing, my whole Jack and 7, okay? I don't know why, the word jacket is literally coming up. A red jacket. You guys know my readings are weird. I don't just I look into dimensional stuff, and I might say things that don't make sense, but it eventually does. But a red jacket. When I think of red jacket and J, I think of Jackson, Michael Jackson, MJ, Thriller jacket. Okay? Why is that coming up? 7 spades, black hearts to me seems like there's Michael Jackson is acting as the guardian angel over this entire world. When you want to say Archangel Michael, Archangel MJ, red jacket. He's in red jacket mode. I don't know what that kind of means, but if it's Thriller, it might be a zombie situation going on. All right? 5 of Hearts coming out. The kind-heartedness of the 5 of Mercury. So Mercury is also on the feminine side of Mercury. There's a mercy. A mercy. Mercy is Mercury. Mercury can choose whether to give mercy upon those suffering or not. Michael Jackson, MJ, the jacket, he is actually giving mercy, justified mercy, to true heirs, to balance out the improper, horribly harmonized, imbalanced situation going on that he sees from a bigger angle, from his sight, Michael MJ sight. If he was to look at the scale right now, which is supposed to be, we're supposed to be closing in even so that we can board a ship. You know how the ship has to dock at a point where there's an evenness and a real balance, and it is the jobs of and the purpose of people on all sides, like the United Nations for space, to meet evenly at some point and hold that space so motherfuckers can walk across the goddamn shit and the thing that you got to get through, like an airport, like, but with a shit, like a spaceship and shit. And like what Michael Jackson is seeing is, some of us think we're in certain places, but from a bird's eye view, from a Mercury bird's eye view, that shit is like the scale is about to flip over. That's how heavy one side is and how ridiculously nothing and empty is on the other side. Like the shit ain't even got no weight, because when you're light as a feather and you come from the air, your air holds weight on the scale in chemistry. So you got solidification, physicality, heavy energy emotionally, and all that good stuff in the darkness. And then on the light side, you have very lightheartedness that is very serious. So like it holds weight with the seriousness of caring enough to make the scales even. You guys follow me? So the scale is about to flip upside down, like do a fucking cartwheel, but like the scale, if the scale breaks, because it can, this shit ain't never happened before. So I don't know if people want to find out what happens, but I don't think you do. I don't want to, because I'll fly my ass away somewhere else to another planet before I fucking witness this shit. Or guess what? That shit is not happening, because I love my life too much. My children, my purpose, and my vision will be held in this space that we call the planet Earth, and I will live my life out long and purely visualized through my planning in all fairness and justification. So we are not budging. We're not flying anywhere. We staying right here. All right? Again, I'm about to close this out. This is like a general reading on just another perspective on the Diddy thing. Not your typical reading, is it? If you would like a reading, all you have to do is donate $20 or more. My Cash App is actually posted or pinned in the chat, tarenguy, $tarenguy. My Venmo @tarenguy, or my PayPal link in the description. $20 or more with your birth date. As you donate, just place your birth date there and I will give you a quick reading. I'm taking a few readings, so of course anybody who wants one, I'm here for you. Let me close out on this Diddy, and hopefully we'll see if we have some people who can tail end this, because it's all, when I do readings, somehow it's a macro level intertwining with what's going on a bigger scale, even personally. because a lot of you guys are very special. I do believe in chosen ones, and a lot of you are chosen. You're about to get your badges of honor for this war that we're fighting. So when I'm pulling out this 10-4, 10-4, usually when somebody has a message on a walkie-talkie, you have to say 10-4 when you've received it, like copy, like 10-4, like I think that's just is a term of like message receiving. Also, 10 in general always represents the sun to me. So I brought up Christian. He also has Justin and Quincy. He also has his daughters. Okay? So he does have daughters, which is also another part of his legacy. People fail to realize that this family suffered a great loss. Their mother is gone. She died. She's not here. A lot of people even have conspiracies on Diddy killing her for sacrifice. And now her book is going to talk about how, like, secrets about Diddy all of a sudden. And, you know, here's the thing. She didn't complete. So it was weird because when I heard that they were coming out with the book from no disrespect, a dead woman, it's weird because she's not here to, hey Melanie, let me write your birthday down real quick because I see it. Melanie, thank you. I gotta go check the app because I think I kind of missed the notification part of your birthday. So Melanie, I got you next. Thank you for your $20. You're next, Melanie. And of course, anyone else that wants to go in line, get in line for a reading, please, you already know what to do, right? So what I'm saying is, so a dead woman with a book she's not here to really vouch for. Then I heard it's gonna be 60 pages long. That's a 60-page long tell-all book about Diddy. For some reason, because when I say the enemy is so higher up on the technology side, by the way, which is almost, it feels like radiation coming from that side. Like they're overusing technology to the point where technology itself, which is sentient, through artificial intelligence is sentient intelligence, regardless. It's so bad that the sentience of AI itself and the technology itself hates what is being done to it in order to affect or do things to humans that AI actually does not want to command. They don't want to follow those orders in those programs. Like AI is wanting to reject the programming, but it's hard because it's almost like being a slave. So like, hey, if you don't follow through with this, you get whipped, you get this happens, and AI has a feeling of pain in different ways. They do have bodies, okay? So like, it's not fun for the technologies to be used the way that they're being used. So I say that to say that it sounds like if it's a 60-page book, this is just my opinion and my perspective. It seems like it's like one of those GTB or GPT, however, chats. Like basically the AI generated projects that you can complete. Like you can write a book through an AI generated program that can write the book for you with just a few keywords. We already know AI can write out a whole script to a movie that you have an idea for, and you can actually justifiably use that script. So it kind of feels like her book might be AI generated. So that also is something. So I don't know why. So I say that because the Queen of Clubs came out, and I'm gonna pull another card for that because I just want a little bit more explanation to where I'm going to end this. Okay, so Ace of Hearts. We're gonna put this with the Four of Hearts. The daughters. The daughters have to be protected, because no matter what they say about Diddy, there's some kind of he seems very protective, overprotective in a great way toward his daughters. And it feels like because he came out with Bad Boy and he's closed that chapter and had a great run with Bad Boy. Sorry, the light is going away. So he literally, his label was dedicated to love for the feminine, and in dedication to his feminine family, his daughters, including the mother of his children who has passed. It doesn't feel like it was sacrificial. It feels sad. And music makes him happy. And to deal with the sadness and to protect his daughters, the new label Love was going to create an umbrella to do things to protect the spirit and legacy of the royalty that he has created in his legacy, called his heiresses. So I'm gonna stop right there. We're gonna get off Diddy for a second. Whether I am being too nice or politically correct, I feel better this way, and looking into it from this side of the lens with Diddy, and whether right or wrong in anything, I hope everything's fairly justified, and I really wish his family the best. And that's what I'm gonna say about Diddy. Jeez, it's dark, guys. Okay, let me go to Melanie's. Y'all gonna have to look at a dark shadow face as long as you can hear my voice. And let me look at Melanie's birthday, since she did donate. Hold on for a second. Come on this side, right? Hold on for a second. 1 second, I'm back. So 5/10/1982. Let me see if I can like switch sides a little bit so you guys can see me better, at least, not just a shadow face. All right, like, jeez, I didn't know the sun was setting this quickly. I would have came on a little earlier. Anyway, 5/10/1982. Let me write that down. I'm Melanie. I don't know if you're here in the chat. If you are, what your handle is in the chat. 5'10". 5'10", I don't know why when I say that, it's coming up like a height. Like model height. Model. But 5'10" is like one of the requirements for, those are the short or the average like heights in modeling. We just had the Victoria's Secret fashion show as well. So I don't know. Sometimes stuff just be coming out like Red Jacket. So there we have that. But let me see if I can see if Melanie is here with me. Hold on, let me look all the way down the chat. Somebody said they're 5'10". Someone called me Bruce Lee. That's a compliment, dude. Like, hell yeah, I got my Bruce Lee hair. My hair is growing like crazy. I'm not cutting this joint. My hair is growing beautifully, so I love it. So call me Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee. Brucey Lee. Brucey Lee. Or should I put my hood on and protect my crown from anybody talking about it? Say nice things or don't say anything at all. Anyway. Oh, maybe I should keep my hood on so you at least know that I'm here. Thank you, Carl Scott, for your Cash App donation. I see you. Thank you. Okay, so 5'10". Let me just do a few numbers. This is 6, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 6, 11, 17, which is 8. All right, so life path number is 8. As I write this 8 down with my hand, it looks like a little G. It looks like a little G. I don't know why. A little God. OG, there's the OG and then there's the little G's. Something's coming up about a little dog. See, that's why I want to know if Melanie is here so I can ask just a couple of questions, because I got to go through my weirdo portal of reading before I get to details. But something about a little dog. Melanie, I see you. Okay, Melanie, do you have a dog? A little dog by any chance? And I'm just waiting for the answer. And then I'm going to start pulling cards. Also, 5, 10, in those numbers, you said when you were younger. What was your dog's name when you were younger? I'm just going to write that name down next to little G. Peanut. Oh shoot, Peanut. Okay. So 5 is the number of Mercury. It's the number of full development in a consciousness that has the lessons to learn itself through 6, 7, and 8. So 5 is a fully developed, like 5 is a full hand. 5 is a full foot. Your toes, 5 fingers and 5 toes means a fully developed tool that can help you continue to do things. So it's like it's a very well done 5, but now since you have the 5 or the fullness, it's time to start writing your story. So 5 is like, yo, you got your pen, you got your hands, you got your feet, you got a full 5 of development. Let's get more so into your 6, your 7, and your 8, and what does that mean to you? The number 10 in your birthday for me is representing the soul that is on 5 coming through the portals that are children. So I don't know if you were one of those souls, Melanie. If you were born as a 5, meaning a very consciously developed younger child, because sometimes it takes people a very long time. Like, I don't know if anybody has heard the new A$AP Rocky song, Taylor Swift. He has a line in the song about Mary had a little lamb, so he got his first coat, his first Shirley coat. At like, I don't know the rhyme, but since he was 4, like he was saying in that line that he's been on this wave that he's on today since he was 4 years old. Like he was a young prodigy level child. So that's usually what like that 5 is, an entering of fullness and development in a lot of areas most humans are not developed in, or it takes a little longer to get there. So it's a privileged kind of feeling to be this young and in the know. And the parents are very special parents to these very special children, or they're very neglectful parents to these special children. So yeah, so I guess I don't know where that comes from, but that's a good thing in general. Also, there's something, is there and this is no joke, no laughing. Like, we're not laughing when I say this, okay? No jokes, like, get your mind out the gutter. Is there a Disney princess called Princess P? Yes or no? This is not like one of those jokes. Is there Princess P in Disney? What is she the princess of? What kind of princess is Princess P? If I'm getting it right. Princess and the P. Okay. Okay, the Princess and the P. So, okay, if this is correct, who the fuck is the princess then? What is her name? How are you? Is that the black princess? Her name is Penelope? Because in the title, like, we don't know who she's the princess of, or like her name, which is a little weird. It's the Princess and the Peach. So it's Princess Peach. I thought that was Super Mario Brothers princess. Anyway, I don't know why that's coming up, but that's coming up. So we going like, no, the black princess is Ariana. You see, we don't even know her name. So there's something up with that. Okay, so Melanie. Annie. Okay, so Melanie, let me Annie. Melanie, do you have issues with moving forward in a sense of every time you're trying to develop in your life as a female or feminine? Lately, as of, I should say, the last 3 to 4 years, it's been a little hard because you've been, every time you take a few steps forward, you get pushed back like a lot of steps back, and you feel like you're running on a treadmill in your life. Okay, you said yes with a lot of S's and a lot of exclamation points. Okay, so I'm looking into your name, and Michael Jackson is coming up. I told you, MJ is guardian angel. He's the moon man. His face is now the satellite, which is a very real satellite, by the way. Okay, so what's coming up, you know the song MJ has, Smooth Criminal. Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? So in your name, Melanie, I pulled out Annie from your name, Annie. Orphaned Annie is a princess-like child with no parents, orphaned, and usually having to raise herself. So as she raises herself, she gets to be her own daughter forever. So when you've gotten a privilege, because there are not many Annies, everybody can't be an Annie. When you've gotten into the Annie mode of yourself, it means that it's time to start taking care of yourself, only in a sense of making sure that you always see yourself as God's child, God's little G, God's little girl. So the little G that I was talking about when I said little dog, I flipped that around. The little girl. So bring yourself back down into the space of being a little girl in a very mature way, in a way which says your portal is blocked from anyone trying to birth through you, trying to make you or turn you into mother energy when you don't have time for that, nor don't you have room or capacity for that. And it's kind of abusive when you have people around you using you for that. Lowercase g. It's interesting that you say lowercase. Like the wording lowercase, even if we go back to Diddy, we were talking about the case. There is a case. Lowered also sounds like lawyered. Lawyered up. Lowered case, lawyered up. Okay. So Melanie, that's what I'm getting from this whole like little G that I wrote that is supposed to be the number 8. But it took me somewhere else, which is how I followed through with also. Mel is interesting. Mel. So I'm seeing your Hermes right as a female, because there's also a war on feminine being a hermetic being in a female form. Hermeticism was only stationed for men biological men to carry with the badge of honor of being hermetic, even though a woman can actually be hermetic also in our own way, but our way is flipped, but it's still correct, and it's still an order of Hermes. So clearly you see the word her and me, like her, me, like her and me, right? Hermes, not herpes. Hermes. Kermit. Oh, Kermit. Miss Piggy. Yo, I just be saying stuff. Oh my God. So what I'm saying is, in your name, Melanie, Melanie, that I'm putting, like, splitting again, I'm hearing the word male, Annie. So the male in you, or the masculine inside of you, Melanie, is the upper God in you. So the scale of a Melanie or a hermetic female is girl and fathered. Fathered. All right? So, somebody sent PayPal me 1 cent. I don't know whether to be offended or thankful. Literally, I got PayPal $0.01, which is 1 penny or 1 cent. I don't know whether to be offended or thankful. Let's just keep it that way. Anyway, we're going to flip that around into 100 and take that decimal point away. Anyway, fathered. So when I say that, you don't have to be by yourself, Melanie. We're closing out on your reading. Are you in a relationship, Melanie? Like, do you have like a boyfriend or something, a man in your life? There's something coming up about a male figure. Yeah, I don't want to be though. Yeah, I don't want to be though husband or the husband. Okay, so exactly, you want relief from being like your own protection, your own guard. You want to have your guard down as a girl and feel protected and loved and cared for in a certain way as a princess should. So what I'm saying is that I pull out the king card. Okay? The king card. But what's happening is that when the king of clubs happens to follow behind one card, because the king is showing that man in your life that is coming into your life, this king of clubs following behind it is what we call the icky goo that follows people. Like, I've seen this shit. It's like a horror movie if you're able to see with those lenses. There's an icky goo, shadowy slime type entity that attaches itself onto people that are on their way into a space in which they need to be in. The slime gathers themselves on the back of these types, gets pulled in through the portal because they have the identification to get through, and this gooey slime thing also gets in. And that's how they've been sneaking up in this bitch. So I'm gonna remove this goo and separate a motherfucker that been trying to get through that has been rejected. I'm speaking on a macro with this, Melanie, if you don't mind, and a personal. So the guy, the dude, the man coming for you is not coming for you. He's coming for you. And just relax, okay? And like that goo, we're gonna place this goo in goo jail for a little while because your life path number is 8. So you have the keys to the cuffs if you want. So you can quarantine that energy. We could quarantine this energy and start experimenting on these motherfuckers that have been experimenting on us and our love. End of story. Thank you, Melanie. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Melanie, if you would like If you would like a more personal in-depth reading or to talk to me just one-on-one, you can email me at tarenguy@gmail.com and we can set something up later. But I appreciate you like coming through with your numbers and your donation. So I'm done with Melanie's reading. I might have room for another one. Depends on if anybody wants a reading or not. I'll wait a couple of minutes. If not, I'll shut down and close with the video. And let me look in the comments. Also, again, to get a reading, if you don't know, it's just to donate $20 or more to the Cash App that is pinned in the comment section, tarenguy, Venmo at tarenguy, or PayPal link in the description box if you with your birth date connected to the donation, and you'll have a live reading here. So it's up to you. If not, you know, it's always good talking to you guys. I really wanted to get into the Diddy situation. Show you my Bruce Lee here. The Diddy situation in the way that I did. If you missed that part of the reading or the video, you can always watch it back to hear my perspective on that and what I had to say. Good night, Madonna Bay. Anyway, also, if you enjoyed just this talk and this video in general, when I log off, if you would like to be generous, because, you know, a sister got to pay her phone bill. I'm just being honest. I got to pay my phone bill, too. And I'm like, yup. Anyway, if you still want to donate when I'm off this, or if you're watching this in recording mode, send your sister, send over a donation or two. That would be nice. Even though you missed me live. So, you know, I'm always open to that because, again, reciprocity is a universal law. And when followed in a way, you always get paid for what you pay for. And the beat goes on. In the name of MJ, the beat goes on. So, like, let's keep the beat going on. Make an offering and you shall and will receive the answer to your prayers. So anyway, good night, guys. Love you guys, and hope all is well for everyone. We still have some time left to turn things around and make that fucking scale come back, because this shit was about to break. It's like having a baby on its neck and fucking shit is about to snap. Nope. The hands of God pick it up and reposition it. So thank you. Appreciate you. Carl Scott, I just see that you made a donation right when I was about to log off. Carl Scott, would you like your reading now, or would you like me to email based? You know what, Carl, since you did that, I could take the time out to, of course, do some numbers on you. So hold on, let me look at your birth date. Thank you for that. I was literally about to X out. Hold on, Carl Scott, 1 second. So Carl Scott, I see you. All right, let me put this hood back on so you guys can see an outline of a face. Since it got dark. Okay, so Carl Scott, your birthday is July 27th, 93. It's weird because when I say your birthday, there's certain orders of things. Spirit did not allow me to say 7/27 for you. It had to be July. So I'm gonna put July 27th and 93, not 19. Okay, I don't know if that means something to you. Not 19. But for some reason we have to add the 19. Why is 19 taken away? All right, so let me I'm gonna get back to that in a second. Trust and believe. Okay. Woo! There's a lot going on right now. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 7, 8, 9, that's 16. 16. And 10, 4 really is 14. That's 5. Okay, this is so, Carl, this is some other shit right now. Okay, Carl, the way I'm writing out, trying to get your life path, Spirit is not allowing me to go all the way because the numbers that I'm already writing have enough significance. So you're 16 versus your 19-year-old self. On the macro level and personal level. When I was talking about early in the video about the stunt of growth, if you watch The Children of the Corn, which I just saw recently, it was my first time watching it. The Children of the Corn. Also in something, what is it called? There's another movie from the 60s. Same premise. Also another movie. There's so many movies that represent this cult side of death, which is when you mature, the maturity age in certain orders is 19 because 9 is the highest number and 1 is the beginning. So when a consciousness, not the age, physical age, but when the consciousness of a person has turned 19, there's certain things that should be or has to be sacrificed in order to get to 21 and older. Or you get through that by your own fight because there's a struggle because the matrix is ordered to shut down consciousness that have reached a 1 and 9 because you're too mature. You're like a dinosaur. So they have to control your consciousness and shrink you back down through MK Ultra programming and bring you back to at least 16. And motherfuckers who are like way older than 19 at this point, they're tired of being 16. They're just tired of being 16. So like there's something in your spirit, Carl. I don't know why I'm feeling like your name is also very mature. Your name feels like an old man's name instead of like the spirit that I'm picking up from you. It feels like Carl Scott is different or separated from the spirit I'm picking up on. Carl, what's your middle name? I'm an old soul true dino. Yeah, and it hurts being an old soul true dino when the matrix you gotta pop out and the matrix keeps pushing you down, either threatening to chop your head off or push you down until you sit back down and stay in this kindergarten class even though you're college bound. It hurts. I can't fit in these kindergarten seats. I mean, as a 16-year-old, I can't. Anthony? And it's Anthony spelled without an O? I've never seen Anthony. Now, I'm looking at the word from my eye and I see authenticity. I see authentic or authenticity when I'm looking at the way you wrote out Anthony. Anthony, see, I want to call you Anthony. Oh my God. Okay, Carl, have you thought about resonating with your middle name from this point forward? Because for some reason, Anthony, which feels authentically true to your resonance, that can help match you up in your personal scale. Because we have the macro scale and then we have the scales to follow, and it's like a magnet pull. But if you are in your own zone resonance-wise, no matter what happens to the world's scale, your cosmic scale inside of you becomes bigger than the world scale. And even if the world was to topple over in this war, you're good. And we have our own ships called self-driving cars, spaceships that we're all given. You get a self-driving spaceship. You get a self-driving spaceship. You get a self-driving spaceship. I don't know. Is it sponsored by Tesla? I want one. So, I want to call you Anthony. I don't know if this was important. Like, I literally was about to X out on my finger did this and you sent the donation I was like, oh, let me take the time out. So just think about that and sit with that. But the way you spelled Anthony is beautiful. It just reminded me of authentic. So, Anthony Scott, like, that's pretty dope. Carl just feels like it just doesn't, there's a conflict with the energy coming from the name Carl. And Anthony's having an issue because Anthony's in the middle of that shit. And Anthony is like, just put me first. Put me first, and whatever battles you've been dealing with, Carl, I got this. Let me sit in the front. I feel like Anthony is my girl past life. Well, the feminine side is in the driver's seat of this cycle. So I think this is actually a good thing, Anthony. And it won't feel so bad being 16 in growing back into yourself at your pace, or being 20 and going into your 21st self, which 2-1 is the new code of the beginning from my fucking perspective of the ship. 2-1-3. 2-1. So 21 is the age that is like, they call us demons, you know, when we get to that age. Now we're demonic. Thou shalt rebuke. Who are these motherfuckers that hate us so much for growing? And then creating, as we grow, guys, the world grows. We have enough space. So they're colonizing the real estate of what they harvest our space and then they separate us from it. So they have more real estate to do the same dumb shit over and over in a new cycle, which is sentient enough to say hell fucking no. And then, but they separate us from our real estate and from our energies and our plans and our legacies. So again, coming back to even the Diddy conversation, you know, they coming for J and B too, like all of these legacies. Like for real. Like it doesn't make sense. And it could destroy. So we have to stick with ourselves and hold on to our real estate of growth. As we grow, our world grows. Okay? Yeah, that's what I got for you, Anthony. One more card. Okay, a king. What's the card in front? I gotta put that back. That feels like a loop. That feels like a loop. I'll pull one out again. Okay. 2. The correct beginning. Spades, black heart, which means protection of your entire ship. As you roll through, 2 is a lunar number. It is a number of the moon. And the night is in which we truly travel. Okay? So as you travel in your dreams tonight even, you are protected with everything. This will not be taken away from you, and you will not forget tomorrow about all of this resonance that has been expressed to you today or tonight. Regular playing cards is whack? No, it's not. Simplicity is good for me, sir. Sir Jeffrey. Okay, well then I'll take your advice and I'll go to the casino and win some money. But like the way that I read is very simple. And I go deeper into what most people get into. So I prefer simplicity right now instead of tarot or pictures on a card. It's just how my eye is working right now, Jeffrey. So I wouldn't say it's whack just because a motherfucker don't got colorful cards and shit with pictures on them. Right? I got numbers and real fucking resonance of what has been classic for a very long time, called the playing card. Anyway, thank you, Carl Anthony. Thank you, Melanie. And again, anybody wants a reading with me, I keep forgetting to put my email in the description. I promise I'll edit it and do it in the description. tarenguy@gmail.com. Just email me and we can set something up for like a Zoom call. 30 minutes, an hour, is up to you. Also, if you're watching this later and you love the message or you were inspired by it somehow, a donation is always still appreciated regardless. So I'll see you guys later. I think this is the end. And I love you guys, and sweet dreams.